Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Ask an MTG Grinder. Today I talked to a couple of local players from Michigan, Joslyn Lambaria from right here at Fenton, and Jake Tilt from Kalamazoo area. We're going to talk about Shadows over Innistrad and the new standard, and lots of exciting stuff and what's going to happen in the coming months. So, enjoy! Hey everybody, Bob Huffman here with BC Comics, and this is episode 2 of Ask a Grinder. Today I'm here with Joslyn Lambaria, a local player, very competitive, very good at the game. Joslyn's been playing for what, about 3 years now?
Yeah, about 3.
About 3 years, yep. And in that time she's had a lot of success and made a name for herself. So Joslyn, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, so I'm Joslyn. I've been playing here for about 3 years. Only started competitively in the last year and a half or so. I play mostly standard. I'm trying to get a little bit into modern, but it's a work in progress, and I'm comfortable with the format that I'm in right now. But I love drafting. I like pre-release.
Yeah, I remember when you first came to my store, you're drafting every week.
Yeah.
And man, you were just crushing people. It was so fun. Yeah.
Yep. Now my drafts are a little rusty, but
well,
it's give and take.
Yeah. Practice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we've got a new format coming, right? Well, it's here.
Yeah. Yep.
And with the introduction of Shadows over Innistrad, a set that I'm personally really excited about. But I wanted to ask you, what are you the most excited about with the new standard coming up?
Okay, so I think that everyone has the same thought here. Siege Rhino's gone, and that's really, really cool. Yep. Yeah. So Siege Rhino's gone. I'm also excited that Swift Spear's gone. So this opens up...
Interesting.
Yeah, yep. This opens up some new strategies. With Swift Spear gone, you're going to get some more like control decks available.
Okay.
Yep. Teamer Battle Rage is also gone, which is interesting.
So you just can't get 20'd in one shot.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but so that enables Trample, which Siege Rhino also had, so you can have more token strategies. So you can chump block again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
yeah.
Which is something that you really couldn't do before.
Yeah. So that's going to change the format quite a bit.
Yeah. So I hope we'll see some new token strategies with like Gideon and Nissa, the voice of Zendikar. So.
Yeah. Some really good planeswalkers that maybe didn't see as much play as you'd like to.
Yep. Nissa didn't see a lot of play last format, she's actually really good. So.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So with that being said, what are you the least excited about with the new standard coming up?
Well, there's a lot of really fun strategies that you can play, like Ramp. There's that interesting green-black tokens deck where you sack a bunch of Scions and flip Abby. And
Yep.
So there's just a lot of like interesting combo-y decks that I'm not really looking forward to playing in a tournament because, like, say you compete, you practice against all of these competitive like tier 1 decks that you see on camera and stuff, and then you go and you play this like kind of silly combo deck and you just get run over because you don't know what you're playing against.
So you're not looking forward to the fact that you have to be constantly aware of those decks.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's going to be so many strategies, which is nice because it was a little more linear last time. So it's nice to have the variance, but it's also harder to prepare for a tournament.
Harder to prepare for a tournament. Okay. So as a grinder, you prefer being able to go into a meta where you know what's going to be there, so you can increase your chances of being able to win the tournament. Yeah, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So what, I gotta ask, what's your favorite card out of Shadows over Innistrad?
Personally, I love Soren, but that's kind of a given, right? Soren,
Right.
He's really, really good. Something that I really liked as well is Declaration in Stone.
Okay.
Yep. So we're seeing a lot of like exile-based removal, which is really nice. It turns off Hanger back a little bit. Also, like Ulamog.
Fair enough.
He's a giant threat. You can just kind of exile him now.
Whereas you could, so that's going to be better than a Stasis Snare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Declaration Stone's also interesting because it only lets your opponent investigate for non-token creatures that you exiled.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So this caught me by surprise the first time someone cast it against me. But say like you have an army of Gideon tokens, like you're playing against, you play that card on one of them, it gets all of them, and they don't investigate at all.
And they don't investigate at all. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess I didn't read that whole card.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. And what out of Shadows over Innistrad are you just not really, like you think maybe the hype is bigger than the card might play out, or you're just not that excited about?
Honestly, Arlen Cord. So I know that's kind of an interesting choice because I think a lot of people have liked it, and she's super
there's a lot of
flavorful.
excitement.
Yeah, very flavorful, very like fun card. But I just kind of think that maybe she'll see more play when Gideon leaves, but for now I think Gideon's just the better token maker because once she flips, she can't keep making 2/2s.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so, okay, that makes sense, yeah. So
Yep.
you're expecting that the fact that she can't populate the board very easily is going to limit her play later on in the
Yeah,
format.
she's still a good card. I have definitely just been crushed by her. And like, say someone cast a Thunderbreak Regent and gave it haste and vigilance, and it just completely took me by surprise. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So she's good, but I don't think she's as good as people think she is.
As people think she is, okay. And then finally, so we just had an open this past weekend.
Yeah.
And out of that open, we saw a very small selection of decks.
Yeah, we really did.
Now, in your opinion, do you think that that's an accurate representation of the coming months? Or do you think that's just kind of a sample of what we're going to see?
I don't think it's an accurate representation. I
Sure.
think at the beginning of every format, aggressive decks tend to take the lead, which is something we saw with like the mono white humans deck. It's a super powerful deck for sure, but I think it just took people by surprise. So I think in the coming like months we'll be seeing more grindy games.
Okay.
Yeah,
yep,
with
fair
like a lot of mid range and like control, like with a heavy top end, like think cards like Soren and
like Soren.
Yeah.
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 Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for meeting with us
Yeah,
today.
of course.
Really excited to see you
Yeah.
win some tournaments and look to play against Joslyn. And watch out. All right, have a great day, guys. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Good afternoon, everybody. Bob Huffman here with BC Comics on Ask a Grinder, and today I'm here with Jake Tilt. He's a local competitive player in the Battle Creek and Kalamazoo area. Won a lot of big events. So we're going to talk about the new standard and what Jake expects to see in the coming months. So, Jake, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Jake. I've been playing Magic since Dragon's Maze pre-release, and I fell in love with the game. Came from Yu-Gi-Oh! I was a very competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, but now, Magic has my heart. Been playing in events, doing pretty well in events. Kind of took a break for a second, but back in the mix here, so.
Getting back in.
Yep.
Yep. Awesome. So, Jake, tell me, what are you most excited about for the new standard?
I'd say I'm most excited that Seedrano's gone. That card was really annoying. So like, I'm basically a red player all the time. So
Okay.
Seedrano
Yep.
just it was my nemesis.
Like those mountains, yeah. And I can see, like, you're always sitting there going, okay, do my combat math, calculate it out, I have you dead in X turns, and then they play a Siege Run.
Yeah, and I can't do anything about a Seedrano, and I just kind of like cry when they follow up a Seedrano to Seedrano. Then maybe another Seedrano, you never know, but...
Yeah, those really skillful players, right?
Yeah. I mean, some would say red's not skillful, but you kind of have to count everything up correctly, and you have to put things in the correct order, else you're going to lose. And that's what differentiates like a good red player and a bad red player, from my experience. So.
Yeah. You're not just jamming spells, you're putting them in the right place at the right time.
I mean, if you draw well enough, of course you can jam spells, but
Yeah.
still, you should always play smart if you can. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what has you the least excited about the new standard?
There's nothing I'm not really unexcited about for the new standard, but there's a little thing that gets on my nerves every new standard, and that's the fact that I have to pick up all these new cards, and they fluctuate in prices so much because you don't know what deck is going to stick or what couple decks are going to stick for the rest of the entire format. So
you feel like you just need to have a large base of cards, and you might not have the full budget.
right, you need to have a large pre-existing base of cards too to cover to just go with the new cards. But the thing is, a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford that. So.
Okay, so what do they do?
Well, I mean, the best way to do that is you need to play in your local events every Friday. Sometimes they have them on other days of the week, but play in your local events, stockpile some store credit for when the new set drops. Don't buy packs, buy singles. Always buy singles. So it's very important to buy singles, but you should be on the right track at that point in time.
Sounds good, yeah. And on that note, as a store owner, I can tell you, if you're a store owner watching this, a really good thing to keep stock is standard singles in particular, because you've got that rotation every 3 months. You got to have those cards for your players, because this is how they stay in the game and keep playing and keep your store afloat. So, in the new standard, so we just had a Star City Games open, right? And we saw some decks that did well. In your opinion, are those pretty much what we're going to see in the coming months, or do you think that that's not really an accurate representation of the decks that we should expect to be playing against?
Well, here's how I believe things are going to go down. I think that the human variants are going to stick around. I believe that the Bant Company deck is also going to stick around, but week by week, the next week, my prediction here is that those decks are going to get pushed out by other decks. So like maybe we're going to see appearances from Ramp, White-Black Control, Esper Dragons more. I mean, Esper Dragons did top 8, but like we're going to be seeing, decks that push those decks out, and then there's going to be people playing the decks that beat those decks at those tournaments. It's kind of like this never-ending cycle of like what's good for a few weeks and what's bad for a few weeks. Unless you see like a tier 0 deck like Mono Black was back in the day. So.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So really, you think that this first wave of decks that we saw, maybe not, so much get into the mentality, oh God, there's only 3 decks or whatever. We're going to see a diverse form.
Yeah, we might see all sorts of kinds of Eldrazi, different kinds of humans popping up.
Yeah. There's a lot of power level out there.
Right, and the possibilities are endless because there's decks that are just we don't know about yet. Like Brent Clausen over there testing his little secret brew. So out of Shadows over Innistrad, what is your favorite card? What card out of that set you just go, man, this is really going to be format defining? Thalia's Lieutenant.
Thalia's Lieutenant, all right.
Yep, because every time I play against a white deck, or I'm playing like the white humans of any variant, or I'm playing the white humans of any variant, that thing comes down, it's just like +1 counters everywhere, makes the dudes huge, and you just hit them with it.
You just hit them,
yeah. And it kind of reminds me a lot like of the mono white deck reminds me a lot of Naya Blitz from a few years ago.
Sure,
it's not as fast, obviously, but it just comes down and swings hard, and it's got some utility cards like Thalia's Lieutenant. So
kind of reminds me of back in the day, old school there. I used to play Soldier's deck, and Captain of the Watch was that card for me. He just came down, and you very frequently won the game. If you were playing him, you were in a board state where you could win. Yeah, awesome. Sounds good. Well, thanks for meeting with me today. Everybody out there, thanks, Jake coming out. We're going to have a great time here. We've got a couple other videos coming up, and we'll look good to seeing you later on. So, awesome.
Stop by BC Comics in Battle Creek.